Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the pod. Why is it so hard to criticise your partner? Part 2?
Well, see, I'm going to pull you up early here.
Yeah.
No, because we don't want to set a precedent of part 2s. This is a separate topic that has been inspired by the last podcast.
No, I think you're splitting hairs there.
Well, let me split.
I think you just need to fall on your sword. We don't want to do part 2s.
And we don't have to. We don't have to. I think we're doing a distinctly different topic this week, which is how should you act after a fight? Sure, it was inspired by last week's pod, but I think it's a different topic.
Is that right?
I think so. I believe so.
Okay.
Now, if we dip back into areas where we were last week, I think that can just happen. That's just life.
Yeah.
But I don't think that means it needs to be classified as a sequel or a part 2.
Okay. Well, just for the sake of the intro, I'll say, why is it so hard to criticise your partner, part 2? And we'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
We will get to that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get into, how we define it.
I'm sure.
Later. We can put in, Lucy can put in the comments, would you like a hyphen? Would you like a /
I actually want more than a hyphen.
You want the whole title?
I'm not really willing to compromise here. I think this is a separate. Wow, and I'm a big compromiser.
Right, well, we're talking literally about this, and you're not willing to.
You know, I'm a big compromise guy. I love compromises. Wow. I actually prefer compromises over my way, but I think this time, I'm hard on. This is how to act after a fight.
What is your issue with part 2s?
I just don't. I'm a man of principle. And we said very early on in this pod that don't worry, guys.
You said early on. And I don't know why you had an issue with it either. I hate to put you in therapy early, but where's your part 2 demon, brother? Where's that lying? Where did you listen to a bad part 2 once? Was it Gladiator 2? Did Gladiator 2 do it too?
Maybe on a subconscious level.
We did have a good chat on sequels and how they're often not better than the first one.
Well, okay, so that's obviously at play. That's definitely at play here. Plus, I think for me, I like the idea that we've got, 40 to 45 minutes to have a real crack at this. And, time's up at 45. The siren has sounded and you had to get all your thoughts out.
Okay,
I don't like the idea that don't worry that we didn't quite get there because we've got part 2, part 3, part 4. And I know what you and me are like. Once we open the door to part 2, it's going to get to part 8, part 9. And then, what is this?
We did do 4 parts on your relationship with time. That was plus a guest, though.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, and I'll allow,
So we've already done that.
But
we have already done this.
Yeah, hence why I don't like it being a precedent. I think it's okay that we did it.
Okay.
But we may never do it again. Or if we do it again,
it
has to be for a great reason. And I think getting a guest on, perfect reason to be moving into, part 2, part 3, part 4, etc.
Right.
Whereas, I think it needs to be special occasions. And I just worry. I'm a worrier.
Yeah, you are a warrior.
I just worry that as soon as we start always doing part 2s, it dilutes it. It dilutes it. What's your argument for part 2?
My argument for part 2 in this instance is I think that I agree with you. And we cover this off in the sequel chat. You can go back and listen to this as to why movie sequels are bad. And the reason that we discover they're bad is either A, because they're trying to recreate something, or B, because it's a cash grab.
Well, ours isn't a cash grab. There's no cash grab here.
This isn't why is it hard to fight with your partner, sponsored by Bonds. It's not that. So it's not a cash grab. And so tick that off.
Yeah.
And the second one is we're not trying to recreate something because I think that we're in a different territory with this. And I'll explain that.
Okay.
Why I think we're in a different territory.
I'll hear it.
Well, you hearing it might be the pod. Just so you know, it's not by hearing it. I know you're a principled, uncompromising man, but this is by hearing it, you might have to forego the whole podcast. So
that's fine. I will hear it for 45 minutes and then decide if this is a part 2 or if it's not a part 2. I think that's a good way to go about it.
Okay, all right, nice.
This is the first ever time we're going to name the topic at the end.
Okay.
Which
Great.
is ridiculous.
Oh, no, it's good. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the reason I think that this is a part 2 is because I think that yesterday we kind of practically touched on, or last time we touched on, like, how to have arguments with your partner.
Yeah.
So we spoke about this idea of the kill switch and, like, basically short-circuiting your limbic brain.
Yeah.
But, just like you have, I did a lot of research on this topic afterwards.
Hours.
Because
For me, I was buried in books,
papers
podcasts.
stacked high.
Yes.
Kicking you out of the library at close.
Oh, God.
I
I wish I could sleep there.
But I think that we didn't touch on arguably the most important part of this, which is the why. Why you criticize or argue with your partner.
Well, I mean, now I know you've done some research here.
Oh,
but
you want
I'll
to wrap it
try
up, do you?
Well, I'm going to try and
Put your research down, mate. Okay.
Because I quite like the idea of not challenging the researchers, but just like, have I nailed it without the time and effort?
Yeah.
So for me,
Nice.
I reckon,
Which is a great attitude for life.
I reckon.
Don't put the work in, kids.
Yeah, just have a crack, just have a guess. I reckon the reason we criticize, or my understanding of it, or the why for me, is that if I don't, then I am bottling up something which is annoying me, and that's not healthy.
That's why you don't.
No, what?
That's why you don't argue or criticize with them.
No, I don't. I do argue.
You do, because otherwise
I will bottle it up, and then it's like that's not healthy to be in a relationship with someone when you're not expressing to them the thing that is potentially annoying you or getting on your nerve.
Yeah.
Have I nailed it?
I think so. I think I'm more targeting like the why in terms of why is it so hard?
Oh yeah,
which I think is really interesting.
I think we touched on this last week, didn't we?
I think we touched on it. I feel very. I feel like I'm so bad at this, and I kind of touched on last week about the fact that like Sam and I have been through a lot of this recently with a relationship counselor, and I just feel like such a novice at it, and I'm learning so much about it that I wanted to learn more about it in terms of these different reasons why this is so hard, and it really like touched on, and my research that is, just to rub that in your face one more time.
Where do you like research this stuff?
Well, I delved into a bit of podcasting. I listened to some. So
don't promote other pods.
No, I'll just promote just a person.
Okay,
Alain de Botton.
You love this guy.
I love Alain de Botton.
I thought he was Alan de Button.
I know.
And by the way, it's spelt that way. So if you want to look for Alain,
it's not quite. He does the School of Life on YouTube. I read a couple of his books. He's got one called On Love, which I'd highly recommend if Lucy, you want to put that in the notes. And I love that. That's a great feeling.
Don't do it.
Write
Lucy.
that down.
Don't do it.
Write that down.
I hope that's not in the notes. Don't do what he says.
And there's another one that he wrote, which is about love as well. But I think he has very interesting ideas about love. And I read some Esther Perel on this, and it's just so interesting to me that our views on what love is, and hence the reason why we find arguing with the person we love so hard, is so wrong. I think it's amazing that the way that we view love in a traditional sense is actually really wrong.
What is the traditional view of love?
So I think the traditional view of love is that whether you like it or not, and this is, again, I'm borrowing from Elaine, but he says that when you fall in love with someone, that is very different to being in love with someone.
Yeah.
So when you fall in love with someone and the transitioning into being in love with someone, he says that lust and love give way to knowledge.
Yeah, and I'd say there's an infatuation there.
I
would even say falling in love isn't my interpretation of it, and some people's might be different, is I think falling in love is mistaken for you are just infatuated and obsessed with someone.
That's right. So love and lust give way to knowledge. So when you fall in love with someone, there's that infatuation. You're like, oh my God, you're the perfect person for me, basically. This is subconsciously what is going on. You're not, it's crazy. We all say like, oh, there's no perfect person for anyone. But when you meet someone, you know that expression, when you know, you know. Like, it's undeniable. There's something takes over you. The universe feels right. There's this moment where you're like, oh my God, this is it. And it's, I mean, my advice to anyone who's kind of like umming and ahhing about a person early on in a relationship, and it's hard to explain because I've only had this once with Sem, but that expression when you know has never felt like before I didn't understand that expression. And then I met her and I was like, oh, that's it. I get it. I get that like, it's just like it's like when you're playing Tetris and you manage to like get all the blocks in a straight line and you like, and the whole thing clears. It feels like that.
Or but it's not a question.
No,
it's because you're right. You have those moments where maybe you've had 4 or 5 dates, and I think previously I've always had do I like this person? Do I see a future with this person? And like you might even write a pros and cons list, maybe.
Yes.
If you're like that guy in Along Came Polly.
Yes.
Where it's just like, I just need to try and figure out, like, do I really like them?
Yeah.
I think if you're there, I think the answer is no.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe you have done that and that's totally fine.
That's right.
But for me, it was like, throw the list out. It's just a yes.
Yeah,
I'm not even thinking about it.
And weirdly, even though that's beautiful, that's really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So that this is where the love and lust thing give way to knowledge, because what happens is, and this is in his book on love, or the second one, I can't remember the title. He talks about the fact that you fall in love with them, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got the love and lust thing going on, and then you get to know them.
Totally. And the real them too, because I think everyone puts forward, and both parties do it. It's not one person's being fake and one person's being real. I think naturally early in a relationship, you put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
You're
trying to be the best version of yourself.
It's a bit of a performance of like, I'm being the best man. And it's still you.
Yeah.
But it's not all you, and it's probably not like vulnerability you.
That's right.
Like,
and so and because you could, because there's so many cliches about love that are so true. That expression, love is blind. You forgive them everything.
Oh yeah.
Because you've got the rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
like, no. There's no more questions here. This is it. When you know, I'm 100% in on you. And you often like willfully ignore things that should be red flags.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, because you're so in love, because they have, subconsciously lined up with whatever view of a person you viewed as perfect, which weirdly, let's not go there, is probably just a mirror image of your mum or dad, and you're into them all of a sudden. And so you ignore all this stuff. And then what happens is you get to know them. And then he says that the reason that the conversations then become so difficult is because you're terrified of the fact that you made the wrong decision.
Whoa.
You go, and that's when it gives way to knowledge, because you finally see them as this imperfect, flawed person who doesn't understand, right, your view on love. So you immediately go, all right, well, I'm terrified of the fact that I've made the wrong choice here, because often, he says it can take some people into their 40s to go, oh, I actually finally see you as, pretty flawed, like we all are. And now I've got to try and tell you that I've got this issue with you, and it's so frustrating to me that you don't understand that this is the way the world is. And
for me, it's the flip on that, interestingly enough. Like, I don't view it that way. For me, it's by me bringing up disagreements with you, you won't love me anymore.
For sure.
Which maybe that it naturally is both ways.
It's the same thing,
It's always the case for me. It's like, oh my God, if I reveal to you that annoys me, I am so unlovable, because how petty are you, or how can you get annoyed so easily, or be like frustrated so much about that?
Yeah,
like, that is very unlovable, because I think I have attached a lot of value to myself around like easygoing.
Yeah,
always easygoing.
Yeah,
whatever, go with the flow. But there are certain things that get on my tit.
Of course,
but like
get on your tit.
Yeah, not sure if that was the right terminology.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right one is. But everyone has things that annoy them, right?
Yeah, but I think, interestingly, just go back to your analogy of being like, I can't express this about you. There's still a level of frustration about the fact that you don't think they understand you.
Oh, right.
And he and de Botton says that this is like at odds with how the Greeks viewed love, which I think is really interesting. So in like a modern relationship, right? The idea of someone trying to change who you are for the sake of the relationship is like sacrilegious.
Of course.
It's like, how dare you?
Yeah, of course.
I am me and you are you. And yes, we've agreed on this space where we love each other. But actually, there's no way you can change me. You have to accept me for who I am.
Hell yeah, with the Greeks.
Yeah, good on them. Aristotle and Socrates and all those guys.
Yeah.
Plato. You want to throw another one in the mix?
Well, the Greeks are good. Achilles.
Yeah, he was a Trojan. No, he was a Greek. He was a Greek.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. So famously a Greek. Zorba.
Obviously.
The way the Greeks viewed love is that, yes, instantly you have this first like love-lust period, but then love after that is a practice. And the practice, what you're both practicing is this devotion to the fact that you will both change each other and will be willing to be changed by each other for this higher cause of actually discovering what true love is.
The Greeks.
And so
I've done it again.
And so it's brilliant, right?
Yeah.
And so he says that the issue that we actually have when we have an argument with our partner, when we try to criticize our partner, is that one of you, so in your instance, you're feeling like there's something that annoys you and the other person can't understand that. And that's tied with this knowledge that the other person, as I said, doesn't understand, right? So really what you're going in with is, I would like you to change so that you can see that there's another vision of love. There's another way to be effectively, right?
Interesting.
Or at least to just understand a way that I am.
Yeah.
And he says everything goes wrong because of your attitude to that argument, right? Because he says there's a teacher-pupil thing that goes on. So one person rocks up, right, and goes, "Hey, there's a view on love that I have. There's a view on me that I have that I would like to help you change, right? In terms of like see it a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. You go in with that, but you're so scared that the other person, that you picked the wrong one, that this other person won't understand the way that you view the world, that you go into it subliminally, subconsciously, anxious.
Right.
And so there's angst. And so there's, you don't get me. You don't understand me. This is frustrating for me. And so the way that you approach it as the teacher is the wrong way that any teacher should approach anything, which becomes patronizing and undermining and annoying for the person who's trying to understand you.
Totally.
So the person who's in the pupil role in that instance goes, well, let's take something that does get up your tit. What have you got?
Okay.
It can be small. It can be large.
No. It's just so I'm introverted. I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the more introverted I realize that I am.
Yeah.
And I've tried to ignore that and fight against that for a very, very long time. So it's taken a bit for, and a lot of discussion with Mim and I around like, if I socialize too much or if I see people too much, it drains me and I get to a point where I feel like I'm about to explode.
Yeah.
She has never not understood that.
Yeah.
Or she's like, she'll say to me, I don't have that. But she's always very, very welcoming to take that on board and go understand that.
Yeah.
Right. But so that's something that frustrates me or like can make me explode. That would be an example of that.
Okay, great.
And then it's going like, okay, so what can we do together?
Yeah.
To make sure that doesn't happen for you.
Yes, but I know, and tell me if this gets personal for you.
Yeah.
But I know that in the past, I remember talking to you after you'd had a pretty big discussion about this. I think it was when you traveled to the US. Oh,
that was 16-hour flights with 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Full on.
So perfect storm, right?
Yeah.
Particularly in terms of like, you're trying to explain a deep truth about how you feel about love and how you feel about yourself to someone after an international flight.
Oh, but that so much wasn't. I mean, that was just like the stress of traveling with a child. That was like
horrific. So it's a perfect storm, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably a good example because it really elevates the dynamic that I'm trying to talk about. So I remember there was a sticking point for you, which was you weren't requesting, and it was on you, and you really put your hand up here. You're like, I'm not asking for enough time by myself.
Oh, this was away from the LA trip though, because there's absolutely no way I would have said that when we were struggling. By the way, I'm going to duck off to Colorado for a couple of days because I need my alone time. No, That was not on that trip.
Right.
When we got back from the trip, that is a discussion.
You didn't try and have a pivotal relationship discussion after a 16-hour flight with a 1-year-old?
I pocketed that one.
Yeah. You felt the moment.
I fully hear what
Alain
de Botton is saying.
Customs?
I turned off the Alain de Botton podcast and went, I reckon we can do this one when we get back, I reckon.
Park that.
I'll make a note. I'll make a note to myself and I'll bring that up later.
Yeah.
No, but that is something that since we've been back in life, in more normal life and routine, is there was so much guilt attached for me to say, hey, I tonight I just need to be alone.
Yeah.
And guilt attached there because for anyone who's had children, or maybe one of you's got particularly busy, the time that you get with your partner just gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
And we're big on now having quality time as opposed to quantity, because right now you just don't have the same quantity that you used to. When you before the child came around, it was like, well, pretty much every night we're hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's you and me hanging out, not talking about a child, not looking after a child.
Yeah.
So then there was a lot of shame and guilt attached for me to even say something like, hey, tonight I actually can't even watch TV next to you. I need to, and this has taken a lot of, it's funny, as I explain this to Mim, it's been also a good experience for me to understand it about myself.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's probably something that I've also buried from myself as well. And I was like, if I sit, and maybe there'll be other introverts who hear this that understand this, but if I sit in a room with anyone, it's I to this day, you know, you think Mim's your person, or you think your loved ones are your people that are like, oh, surely it's fine if I'm in your presence and that, you know, won't drain you. But it's like, I just cannot be around another human being. And I don't fully understand it, but it's like I can't help but take on your energy and how you feel. Even if you're watching a TV show with someone, I've said this to Mim before, if I'm watching a TV show with someone or a movie with someone, I cannot help but think about how they're enjoying the show.
Yeah.
And it's just impossible for me to turn off. And then once I'm thinking about that, it's like I'm getting no relaxation and enjoyment from this, because I can't stop thinking about. You can't
drop into that like zone.
Are you enjoying this? Are you finding this scary?
Yeah.
Have you picked this? Maybe you're just not interested in this. Like, have I been selfish in choosing the movie tonight?
Yeah.
This is going terribly.
Wow.
That's all going on in my head, and it's like you've probably missed a couple of plot points while you're doing that in your head, big guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but again, like, it's to go back to, it's the shame of going like, okay, but we haven't spent a night together. So in what world am I going to then say to her, we haven't spent a night together for 4 nights, and then I'm going to say, hey, I want to spend a night by myself tonight. That was really difficult for me. And again, it's something that I'm getting a lot better at now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a perfect example. So you've got something which, you know, you have this moment of fear where you go, geez, the person that I love, that I fell in love with, that cleared the Tetris decks for me, that I stopped asking questions about, I'm, you know, subconsciously I may have picked the wrong one. She might not understand this, and that's really, really scary.
Yeah. It's so funny that for me it always comes back to, I wasn't honest about that early in the relationship. Like, you know, early on, and interesting because I just had so much time to do me time that it's like I felt bad that I wasn't, you know, honest enough early on to say that, because I view it as I'm unlovable because I need this alone time to myself.
Again, I think is the same thing, because you still have this great sense of fear, whether you communicated it or not, whether it was your fault or not. I don't think this person will understand this because I haven't told them, or because their view on love's different, or whatever that is. It's just you know, we're in this knowledge space where I feel like my view on love is going to be really different to yours, and that's really scary. It's a hard thing for everyone, whatever that is. And hence, I know that, you know, I know you, like you would have made that as beautiful and as soft a conversation as you possibly could, but inevitably there's anxiety around that. Like it's a scary thing to admit to someone. Like and because you're being so vulnerable. Like I feel like a fuck up because I can't watch a TV show with you at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's scary.
Yeah.
So because you're carrying that anxiety into that conversation, that transfers. And the other person knows, the person that you're trying to teach about how to practice your version of love picks up on that. And they go naturally, defensively, whoa, hang on a sec, mate. Don't teach me how to do this. And that might be, you might get to and that's obviously varying degrees with different people, and it depends on the circumstances in which you do it. Hence, if you do it after a 16-hour flight with a child, your anxiety around those sorts of things is going to be pretty full on.
I was smart enough not to do it then.
Hence why, when people travel together, they often say they have the biggest fights because they're often stressed and tired and stuff, and you're living one-on-one. So all these things become obvious to you while you're stressed and tired, and you end up having these conversations that blow into infernos out of nowhere because you're trying to tell someone something that you believe fundamentally about love while you're stressed and tired, and then they're going, whoa, hang on, dickhead, don't you dare patronize me about how you view things. So that's a perfect storm for it.
Well, the holiday one for me was always fun, man. So holidays, I don't know if we've talked about this on the pod. It's worth talking about. But holidays are the kiss of death with me and relationships previously in the past. I've thankfully survived all of them with my wife to this point.
Yeah, no, very good. You actually,
never out of the woods.
You'd often just book one return flight as you were booking both flights to the same place.
Funnily enough,
just in case, I would 3 days in, can I get a return ticket home for 2, Mr. Whitelaw? No, just the one, thanks.
Funnily enough, I would, despite the fact that I've had so many breakups on holiday, but funnily enough, despite the history, I would still go into them optimistically. I'd still have this nah. This, I kind of in my head, I was like, nah, this is going to be the make one, make or break. You spend so much time together, usually early in a relationship when you have a holiday. It's like make or break. More often than not, break.
So you're going into the holiday going, this is make or break?
Not so, I know that makes it sound like I'm putting a lot of pressure on the relationship, but
I wasn't going to say that.
It's just the idea of I'm going to be spending 24/7 with you.
And which kind of maybe ties into the whole, the couch thing, right?
Exactly. So holidays for me. It
is. I mean, whether you named it or not, it is a bit of a make or break, isn't it?
Totally. And again,
because whether you admit it or not, that knowing who you are, it's scary.
And a trip to WA with Mim, for example, was a big make one. It was just it was an unbelievable trip. I can't believe I've had a good holiday with someone.
Yeah.
But holidays for me, when I'm not in a relationship, as you know, the MO of any holiday that I would go on, pretty much, if I wasn't in a relationship with someone, is how can I go about this holiday and see the smallest amount of humans possible?
Yeah.
That was literally the MO every single time. Yeah. So then holidays, I think for me became this
You're on Antarctica's frequent flyer list.
Exactly. He's back again. They
love you down there.
Same igloo, sir. Come on in. Champagne waiting for you. Perfect. Don't talk to me now, though. We're done.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
I'm leaving. My one rule.
Everyone's just signing you when you get down there.
But right, so it's you set this thing up in your head of that's your time to recharge and da. So it was never the person I was with's fault, really. It's just I go into a holiday being this is my recharge time, and almost lying to myself because you're alone all the time.
Yes.
As soon as you bring someone, this is a nightmare for you.
Yes. So, and I think this is something that I think it gets into the meat of what the problem is, in that you're feeling like you can't communicate how you feel about yourself because it's so shameful or whatever that is, right?
Yeah. So it effectively comes from a low self-esteem point.
I've got no doubt, mate. I think all of your things do, and we can jump back into that therapy session if you want.
No. What do you mean jump back in? This has been all therapy once again. What do you mean jump back in? Are you kidding me? It feels like we're in a double session of my therapy.
So last time we spoke about this, how to turn off your kill switch thing, right?
Yeah.
So how to turn off your kill switch in terms of turning off your limbic brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we talked about what the New Zealand All Blacks do, which is the something that Mim and I have engaged with, which is the are you in a position to potentially receive some criticism now? And
I remembered that I think that actually a way to sum up that how to turn off your kill switch thing is actually something that, because you're so good at this that it's almost to your detriment. Not surprisingly, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness.
Mine.
Yeah. You're so good at this that you're a wizard at this. I watch you do this often at work, and I'm like, gee whiz, he's really you just a freak at it. And that's, I think, summed up in this expression that you taught me, which is to understand is to be understood.
If you make understanding the goal, and being understood will follow.
So, which I think is better, is to be understood, is to be understood. So maybe tell whoever wrote that. No,
I follow that so close now. It's just the best quote.
It's a beautiful piece of advice. But But I think the thing that what happens if you focus too hard on that, because it'll kill your kill switch. Instantly you go, hey, I'm trying to understand you, which means you turn off your limbic brain. You're not reacting, you're listening.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a beautiful piece of advice. But I think the problem with it is that it means that it can mean that you don't express yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
So, and I think the fundamental piece for me around this is using your words to express yourself in a discussion with your partner, even if it is scary, is so pivotal.
Yeah.
And particularly even in an argumentative sense, because I think, we spent the whole last pod talking about how to turn off your kill switch, which I think is a really important thing if you want to listen to the other person.
Yeah.
But I had to think about this, and the what's the word I'm looking for? The contrary piece to this, the people that go against all of that is Italians. So I used to live
Italian, so confrontational.
So I used to live. A very good friend of ours, Daniel Parisi. I grew up in a white nuclear family, same as you, and it was like, guys, if you get angry, then you're ruining everything, and why would you ruin the mood? And keep your emotions to yourself. And if you're going to blow up, then the other person's allowed to sulk and go and apologize. And look, there's just guilt on guilt on guilt, and it's just not healthy. And I remember going into the and hence I was naturally very afraid of having argumentative words with someone, because if having argumentative words with someone means something's gone really wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing to do. It's a bad situation. It makes me anxious. I'd go to the Parisi's household when I was a kid. They had 4 boys. They lived in this big house together. And as soon as I walked in, it was just like they would go off at each other for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would ring the doorbell and one of his brothers would answer the door, and you just hear this, like, why the fuck are you answering the door? Or they'd turn around and be like, Daniel, Will's here.
Yeah.
You've left your shit in the hole. And I was like, initially I was like, oh my God, this is so full on. And, his mum would come down Murgate beautifully and be like, guys, lunch, guys, lunch is ready in 10 minutes. And Daniel, we're not ready in 10. And it was just my God. But then amazingly, you would have these transitions where it would be really hectic, and then they would just drop it.
Yeah.
It would be like intense, gone. Intense, gone. And they held on to nothing, like nothing. And that, I think, is the antidote, or the other side of this kill switch thing, which is if you're constantly expressing what's going on, if you're constantly saying how you feel, then you get used to that. Mm-hmm. So it's not as scary. So you're not, you fully understand each other all the time, because you're always saying how you feel and you're always saying how you want. I think from the outside, people often say about Italians, geez, they fight, geez, they argue.
Yeah.
But that's just talking. Yeah. That's why it's so healthy. That's why they have such large families. That's why they live for so long, is because they're so good at expressing themselves. In fact,
hold on to their
it's not even a desire to express themselves. It's a need. That's their language. That's who they are. It's so heavily embedded in their culture. And I think that with this knowledge, with the knowledge that your words are so pivotal to expressing yourself, is so pivotal to having a healthy relationship, then I think that this moves into this, I think, arguably Alain de Botton's best bit on this, which is this video on the School of Life called The Dark Truth of Love. Mm-hmm. And
is Alain in a relationship?
Yes, he is. He's got 2 kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, imagine if he wasn't.
Alain, you've been divorced 4 times. At what point am I going to keep listening to you? Did I say 4? I'm just going through a divorce actually at the moment. I am single again. But go on, Alan. Tell me the meaning of love
that.
again.
I love that so much. So I think if you use your words, it's so important, because it ties into this idea of the dark truth of love. Now, using your words is different. There's different ways to use your words. So I think if you're using your words to express yourself, there's 2 key things to remember. Number 1, you're crazy. Yeah. Like, you are crazy. And de Botton says that self-righteousness is the enemy of love. Right? So we all have a view on love that our parents have taught us. And I find that so wild, that the only way that any of us have ever learned love, or how to be in a relationship, think about all the things that you have learned in your life. Think about all the things that you have spent time in the late nights of libraries learning. Think about the software you've learned, the musical instrument that you've learned, the sport that you've learned, that you spent hours doing, right? That are all now hobbies or things that you might try on. But none of us ever actually learned or looked for a way to learn how to be in a relationship.
Movies.
How to love.
Movies.
Sure. So we got it from Hollywood.
I know, that's a scary thing.
Or we got it from our mum and dad.
Yeah.
And as a result...
But even funnily when you grow up, like, it's a weird thing when you look at
go
your parents and
and
you go, like, I'm not looking at you guys as lovers. I'm looking at you as your mum, your dad, and your role is look after us.
Yeah.
It takes so long, I think, as a kid to have that moment where you're like, oh...
Yeah.
You guys are in a relationship. Sorry, I just thought you were the guidance people.
But it takes so while for it to be conscious to you that that's actually what they're doing, because before then you just look at them and you go, oh, that's how love works. That's how relationship works. Yeah. That's the only thing I know about how this works.
Yeah.
And that means that you develop this really, like, this is impossible for anyone to avoid this. Anyone. You develop this hardened, one-eyed view on what love is, on how love should be. And that view of you, Father John Misty has a line in his song The Memo where he says, friends, it's not self-love that kills you, it's when those who hate you are allowed to tell you that you're the glorious shit the entire world revolves around. And he's talking about your parents.
Right.
He's talking about the fact that totally unintentionally, they're like, you're beautiful, you're amazing, this is how the world is, and everything revolves around that concept of love. And you don't change that. You don't learn outside of that. So when you go into your first relationship, you go in going, this is how love is. This is the view that I have on love. And then what happens is when you have those arguments, you get upset because the other person doesn't view love the way that you view love, which is crazy because your view of love is only defined by these two people who tried to work something out between themselves and had kids and jobs and lives, and you put it on a pedestal as the way that everyone else should view love.
What is your view of love, Will? We keep talking about this view of love and it being different to what your partner's view of love is. I've never really thought about what my view of love is, if I'm being like brutally honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's come up a lot. What is your view of love?
I think the thing that Sam and I have touched on recently, which I think for me is fundamental, and I'm realizing more and more, is that my view of love, and I think the only metric that matters in love, really, is your ability to let the other person be themselves.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
That I think that's it. And I've only discovered that because I've been through like 30 therapy sessions in the last 6 months of just going like, why am I upset about this? What is this triggering for me? And really understanding that the issue has just been you're not letting me express myself.
Sure.
And really, I think I spoke last time about the fact that I used to go into couples therapy sessions treating them like a debate.
Yes.
And I'd go in there and go like...
You'd start quoting some Alain de Botton and be like, listen, I've done research. I know what relationships
These are my arguments. This is how
Say
it is.
no more.
And the satisfaction that I got from winning those arguments was so short-lived. And I think that this is something that I've learned recently is if you have an argument with your partner about the fact that if you have an argument about your partner with your partner and you feel like you've won, you've lost.
Yeah.
Because you weren't listening, because you didn't actually try and understand them. And I think what you realize is that you didn't actually want to win. You just wanted them to understand your view on love.
Yeah.
And that is what the second rule of, so that first rule is you're crazy. The second rule is everyone else is crazy.
Yeah.
So don't blame them. It's their view on love that they are struggling to see, that you are struggling to see. And if you can see it as just their view rather than as the person that you're actually arguing with, that's when you might stand a chance of understanding it. And he said people ruin their relationships, and we break up with people and we throw people away and we book them return flights back from Antarctica because we blame the lover and not their view on love.
Right. Yeah.
And if you can just show them that you understand their view on love, you don't necessarily have to get with it, but if you can just show them that you understand their view on love and that it is broken like yours, then you will have a chance to find harmony.
Yeah. Whilst, understand theirs whilst also putting a value on your view as well. Because, again, my bigger issue would be that this was the topic I thought we were going to be talking about today. You've done well.
Here's your play.
You've done well.
Here's your play.
I've only got 60 seconds to talk about what I thought the topic was, which is how you react after a fight. What's the best way to act after a fight? I think a lot of people would have the problem of standing their ground too much and not apologizing and never identifying that maybe they were in the wrong. Like, that can be a big issue with people. It's just like two people going like, no, you were wrong. No, you were wrong. But so I'm not that. I back down pretty quickly. But I think my problem is that sometimes I can back down too much. So to the point where it's like,
sulk with on that on top? Afterwards?
But if I will know I'm sulking and I will go, this is not benefiting anyone. I need to go and figure this out.
Yeah.
Or there's no constructive conversation going on now. I need time. And I'm getting a lot better at identifying that.
In the moment, going like, I'm sulking.
Or I'm sulking or I'm emotional. I've got defensive.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I'm emotional.
Yeah.
Nothing I say now is going to be constructive. Mim's really good at it. I've never seen someone so good at it. Like, she'll just go like,
I've got an issue.
I'm being emotional. This isn't helping. And we need to stop talking now.
Yeah, right.
And that's all we've got to respect. When one of us says that, you've got to respect that because it's no longer constructive. You realize we'll do it. Limbic brain, kill switch.
We're in the kill switch zone.
Kill switch on.
Yeah, kill switch is on.
But
the lights are going.
Yeah.
So the SWAT team's in.
So then separation.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need time to think. Do what you have to do, kind of thing. But I think my issue is that then I will come back and I will go, here's why I'm completely in the wrong.
Yeah, right.
I reacted poorly because I think when I was a kid, blah, 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 and I think that's set something off because of this reason. And I'm just, everything that's happened there is completely my fault and it's all my actions and you've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I don't know, I do that because I think I'm always responsible for problems and that's just something I've got.
Yeah.
But I don't think that helps to just go like, you did nothing at all wrong. I think it's healthier.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at like, hey, here's where I've gone wrong, but I think this, when you did that, that wasn't fair because of it. And that second step is tough for me.
It's really tough. And I think that like that initial moment of, I was going to say, because I know you're getting better at it and I think I'm trying to get better at it, but and I hate to go back to de Botton, but he has this amazing bit on sulking.
Yeah.
Where he says that the reason that we sulk is because sulking is the most unfair thing to do in the world to someone else. Because what you're saying you stop talking, you stop using your words, and that's because what you're saying is, if you love me, you should understand why I'm upset.
That's sulking.
I should not need...
you should be able to read my mind right now.
I should not need to explain to you why I'm upset. So when you go and bury yourself in your bedroom or, go and DJ very loudly or whatever it is, and the person comes up and goes, do you need anything? You go, no.
Yeah. Everything okay? Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything's fine. I'm fine. Why do you say that?
You're upset because you feel as if you need to explain yourself, that person doesn't understand you, and then that means that person doesn't love you.
Yeah,
and that's why children sulk. I don't know if you get the same thing with Remy at the moment, but I'm really having to get a lot better at telling Max off at the moment.
Oh, it sucks.
And her first reaction is, I can't look at you.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because you're showing, because now, and if I say to her, hey, what's wrong? She just won't say anything for a while. Because what she's saying is, if I have to explain to you how I feel, you don't love me. Which is the most outrageous, as an adult, outrageous thing
we do it,
to put on your partner.
Yeah, we
go
do.
Like, you have to psychoanalyze me in silence as to what's going on in my head. And then, back on your topic, which is this, or the particularly / what this topic might be about, which is how you support someone after they have an argument.
Yeah.
That's why that for me is what I'm going to call Super Saiyan arguing, is where the person that hurts you in the argument is then allowed to nurture you afterwards.
Oh, yeah. I struggle with that.
Big time. We with Toya, our relationship therapist, we had this big blow up recently and I thought we really nailed it. We both got all our stuff out. We did it in the container. The kill switches were off. I mean, like, we set it all up, right? Like it was all perfect. And she said afterwards to us, how did you support each other? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, that's the step you missed. You did everything right. And Esther Perel says this is the most important part about how you actually change that broken feedback loop in your relationship is, can you support each other after you argue with each other? Because then just by the pure nature of it, you're showing to each other that you're not arguing with each other. Your views on love have just clashed. So then you go, hey, look, I'm supporting you because that sucks for you that your view on love doesn't match with mine and that must be scary for you. And that for me, that's like, if I'm doing that, if I ever get there.
Yeah.
I'll put the green jacket on.
The green jacket.
Yeah,
is that a golf reference?
Yeah, I've put the green jacket on for the.
So you won the Masters.
I've won the Love Masters. Nice. I've won the Love Masters.
You and Alain de Botton.
Esther's probably up there.
Great.
Yeah. So, that's the Hall of Fame.
So can the way of supporting someone be different though?
So Sam and I now say to each other before we have a container chat.
Yeah.
We ask the other person how we can support them afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a container chat the other night and I said to Sam, what do you need afterwards? And hers is generally speaking pretty much the same. It's the same for all of us, really. It's just, I just need to feel like you still love me.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we have to go a step further in terms of practically what does that look like? So the other night hers was, can we have what we call an extended huggy, which is just...
Nice.
Just no intimacy beyond just holding each other.
Yeah.
Right? But then it's amazing. You hold the hug for 2 minutes and then 5 minutes and then it just kind of all dissolves. And then because you're physically holding this other person, it's like this visceral reminder of, oh, there's a person here. I wasn't actually arguing with you. I can feel your heart beating. I can feel how frail you are. And mine the other night, in terms of how you can support me, is I was like, I just want to watch. I don't really want to talk about it because I know it's going to be hard for me to talk. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be held. I think I just want to sit and watch a TV show with you.
Oh, nice.
So no talking, but and then it was just like over the course of the show, the temperature in the room just sort of comes down. And again, it's the same thing. It's like I'm just doing this activity next to this person. The other day we did it, we had a container chat and we went and we actually had to do some DIY stuff together. We had to install some shelves and some bike hooks down the side of the house.
Oh God, nightmare. Post-fight. Post-fight. I'm surprised the hooks are up. How did you get through that? Like that is like, let's just throw ourselves into the furnace.
It's the same as when people have shoulder-to-shoulder conversations with people, right? Yeah. You go like, hey, just do an activity together and don't engage.
Yeah,
we both like doing DIY stuff. So it was just, we just did the activity. And it was,
right.
And at the end of it, we high-fived, which
cute.
Half an hour before when we were having that conversation, I just never would have thought that was imaginable.
Yeah.
And then it's funny how quickly it changes when you actually just start spending time with a person again and you can step away from, again, this really self-righteous view on how you view love should be, which was the issue. It wasn't the other person.
So yeah, Mims is always huggies, physical touch.
Yeah, which is for a lot of people, which makes sense, right? Because it gets you out of your head. You're going like, hang on, now there's a person here. You love me. Like we are individuals in this.
Yeah, mine. It's just like leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah.
But it's so like again, there's shame there.
Because you got to deal with your own stuff.
Oh God! But also like, is my idea of being supported is to be left alone. What the fuck's going on there? Like,
do you want to do that?
Because I haven't said it like it's so weird to explain, but it's like your efforts to be supporting me like physically here. I can't help it. I'm thinking about what you need. And so I'm not It won't support me.
Yeah.
won't.
Because you can't actually get in touch with yourself
Because
because you're thinking about them.
I'm thinking, is this difficult for you to be supporting me right now? Like, is this
God, that's
you
so
not
lame.
enjoying this? Because that sucks. That must suck for you. Like, don't worry about me. I know I'm the one who's supposed to be supported here, but I'm thinking about you. You enjoying this hug? Is this a good hug? Am I hugging too tight?
Oh man.
But Mim's getting very good at that. But we're both.
Does she coax that out of you at all? Because I mean, I don't have it on any near the level that you have it, but I still have it. A classic like masculine thing around like, I'm not gonna tell you how I'm going here.
Oh, I still suck. I bet text
But I'm
messages are
saying,
pretty
does
good.
she? Yeah, their methods of coaxing. Maybe because maybe this is a good thing for other people who are in relationships with men to listen to. Like,
This could be a topic. How to communicate to your partner that you're not going well, because I think that's one of the hardest. Well, for me personally,
Yeah.
I think stereotypically for men, very difficult.
yeah,
Mim's become a Jedi, which hasn't helped. That doesn't help me on my journey.
because she just leveled up.
She's freak areas.
You're still in a Bulbasaur, and she's an Ivysaur all of a sudden.
So I'm trying to get better at text.
There's a Pokemon reference for everyone listening.
Very good.
They're like, did you get that, Lucy? Bulbasaur, Ivysaur? Is that? No, it doesn't land. I think it's going to go over a few heads.
That's all right.
I'm really struggling with my pop culture analogies these days.
Well, I think if you're going for Pokemon, it's not pop culture anymore, big guy.
I went for a golf bit as well before.
Yeah, no, you're right. Your pop culture references are off.
I'm right off. I feel like my analogies are right off today.
They're right off. But I would say this will be a little tease, because I reckon next week, actually, telling your partner how you're feeling, I think that's a hot top.
Okay.
Okay. But for me,
Yeah.
attempt text.
Attempt text?
But like text.
Oh,
Just
written, writing down. Yeah, cool.
That's way better than a face to face. I'm not going well.
Yep.
But
telling your partner you're not okay.
yeah,
Yeah, how to tell your partner you're not doing all right.
because for me,
Yeah.
and again another hook for next week. The reason it's so hard, is because if I'm not going well,
Yeah.
it's like I so hard amplify the other way of like, no, if you're not going well, you will bring her down, and that's the worst thing you can possibly do right now. Do not do that. And that's not good. That's not helping anyone. Because also the thing that you think you're doing, which is like not bringing them down, you're doing it. And the more that you fight against that, the more you actually bring them down.
Yeah.
As soon as you just
and they know.
Yeah. So the dream scenario for us is me going, not feeling well. You've done nothing wrong. I couldn't love you more. And then probably like I need to go on.
So next week is how to tell your partner that you're not doing well.
Yeah, or just generally telling your partner you're not doing well.
What about if we went with for people that don't have partners as well?
Oh yeah, great. You're telling someone,
anyone that you're not doing well.
That's great.
How to tell people you're not doing well. Yeah, and I suppose the other side of that is how to get them to tell you.
How to receive that. How to
coax it out of them, when you know. It's a good one.
Done it again. Not a part 3. This was part 2.
Okay.
This was part 2.
We'll wrap up part 2. We'll wrap up part 2 there.
That I'm willing to accept now. That was definitely a part 2.
Yep. Yeah, good. I'm glad you can get there. I'm really glad.
We just added a bouton twist to.
We added a bouton twist.
It was effectively, here's everything you said wrong last week according to our
I think so, because I felt so guilty last week. I was like, I think we've really fucked this, and so I went and I leveled up. I leveled up. I'm trying to think of a good level up analogy. With CD to a USB.
Whoa, that's a bit of a sidestep, isn't it? I'd say DVD to Blu-ray.
Oh man, you're sounding so old. All right, I'll see you guys next week.